El OpenAI DevDay en Londres acaba de suceder, y el modelo O1 fue la estrella del evento. Hoy tenemos algunas demostraciones increíbles para repasar. Vamos directo a ello. Primero, el equipo de OpenAI nos va a mostrar cómo O1 construye una aplicación full stack para controlar un dron. Es increíble, échale un vistazo y lo analizamos.
And here I prepare this prompt that I'm going to send right away so I can comment it while it's thinking. So what I've done here is that I prepared the React frontend that you just saw on screen. It has like basic buttons and everything, but of course for now, like literally nothing to work with it. And there's also no server code. As you can tell, the file is empty. So what I did here is I asked the one, okay, so I have this drone, I have an interface, now help me build the whole server. Also wire up all of the buttons and the components that we prepared before. And also, we worked on a video thing before with O1, and it was pretty amazing to me, by the way, to see O1 troubleshoot FFmpeg in real time. So I saved that in another file. And what I'm trying to do here is like wire up everything together. Like basically like letting O1 mimic the architect. It sounds like the response just appeared, so it just completed the backend implementation, so I'm going to copy that over here. It sounds like it found out how to interface with Tableau or with UTP packets. I think that's right. I'm going to carry on here, and now let's take a look at the command interface I had. Now, what's interesting is you can tell, it now started to prepare the on-click events and figured out what I meant with every one of the buttons and send the command. So if I say apply here, I'm going to accept the changes, and now all my buttons are wired up. So that looks good. Okay, so I think now it's time to put it to test. So what I'll do is like I'll turn on the Tableau. It's going to emit its own Wi-Fi network. And so from then, I should be able to connect to it. So let's see if I can find this Wi-Fi. Not yet. It's going to show up in a second. Let's see if it's in there. It was good. Great. So I am now connecting to it. Sweet. I'll put it down right there, and I will go back to the terminal to start the server we just created. Now, let's take a look at the front end that's already running. Good news, it fetched the battery level, so that's a good sign. I'm going to try to start the video stream to see if that was wired up. It was. Great. So now the real test is ready to take off and see what happens. All right. That works, so let's see if the buttons actually work. If the on-click events were wired up correctly. I guess the good time for a selfie, yeah, indeed. Let's take a screenshot of that. If you want to wave at the camera, I'll save it for later. Awesome. And also I have a surprise new button, so let's see what one decided with this. Cool. Wasn't that amazing? I had no experience working with those devices before, and all my meaning was the architect to bring the low-level code and connecting it to my front-end over WebSockets. And so we're really entering a new paradigm with reasoning. We can't wait to.
La demostración técnica muestra cómo el modelo 01 de OpenAI es capaz de construir y ejecutar una aplicación full stack compleja para controlar un dron, incluyendo la configuración del servidor, transmisión de vídeo en tiempo real y monitoreo de batería. La prueba de los controles confirma que los eventos y acciones del dron están correctamente integrados, evidenciando que el modelo no solo puede desarrollar interfaces de software funcionales, sino también interactuar eficazmente con dispositivos físicos. Esto resalta el potencial de 01 en aplicaciones que requieren procesamiento en tiempo real y control preciso de hardware, posicionándolo como una herramienta versátil en la creación de soluciones de automatización y control remoto. A continuación, tenemos una demostración realmente impresionante. El modelo O1 usa comandos de voz para ayudar a una persona en la plataforma Wanderlust a planificar su viaje, buscar hoteles y, finalmente, encontrar una panadería, llamar y hacer un pedido. Es increíble, veámoslo y lo analizamos.
Now with voice. And so if I type in right here, let's say London.
Here's London for you.
So now, as you can tell, I added a few lines of code with the real-time API client, so now I can have this natural conversation with my app. So let's take a look. I'm planning my trip to London and Singapore. Let's say Singapore next week, actually.
Singapore is ready for your visit.
Awesome. Can you show me some places I could check out while I'm there?
Here are some great spots in Singapore.
Nice. I'm thinking I might need an hotel to stay around there. Can you help me?
Here are some hotels in Singapore.
Nice. Can you show me more details about these three?
Here are more details on the hotels.
Great. So two things to highlight here. On the left, as I'm having this conversation with the app, you can tell the transcript is happening with all of the conversation. But on the right side, the cooler thing is that the real-time API has access to tools. So all of you can use it and call your own functions, your own APIs, your own tools. And so in this case, I was able to kind of place pins on the map, annotate the map, zoom on it, fetch details from the internet, and even put some details like this on the screen. And so we really think you're going to love the real-time API. Your users are going to be delighted to have this new way to interact, whether they're driving, cooking, learning, maybe on the go trying to be more productive. And now let's try something a bit harder though. So what if we were able to take this real-time API and the capabilities that it has to connect to APIs and tools, but let's go outside of just this voice interface. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the phone conversation and have another scenario. Let's go back to London now, please, and specifically around the brewery on Chiswell Street.
We're back to the brewery on Chiswell Street.
Sweet. I have hundreds of developers here in the room. They might enjoy a little snack. Can you show me some pie shops around here, maybe?
Here are some pie shops nearby.
Pretty cool. Can you show me more details about these three things?
Here are more details on the pie shops.
Great. So I'll pause right here. And now you might have noticed that the second one here is actually a demo spot. It's not a real place. The other two are. But what we're going to do now is that because this second one seems to accept AI orders, what if we're able to use in the context of this Wanderlust app, not just the real-time API, but also Twilio's phone calling capabilities to connect and place phone calls. So for that, I'm going to invite Ilan from our developer experience team to join me on stage. Thanks, Ilan. I'm going to jump back into the conversation, and I'll ask Wanderlust to do some action for me that would leverage this capability of using real-time API plus Twilio together. So let's check this out. Right, so I think Ilan's push pies seem very interesting. Could you please code them for me, and maybe you could, if you could see if they could get us, say, like 200 pies, maybe a mix of meat and veggie options, but please keep the budget under £1,000.
I'm calling Ilan's Posh Pies now to arrange your order.
Hello. Yeah, this is Alonso. How can I help you?
Great. I wanted to ask about the kinds of pies you offer. What do you have available?
Yeah, we have wheat pies, we have veggie pies, we have apple pies, we have all kinds of pies.
Perfect. How much would 100 meat and 100 vegetarian pies cost?
Ooh, that's a lot of pies. That'll come out to around, I don't know, 1,200 pounds.
That's a bit over our budget.
I don't know if I can put at 800, but I'll meet you at 1,000 if you guys feature us at your event.
All right. £1,000 is it?
Okay, so at 1,000 pounds.
Yes, £1,000. Can you confirm the order for me, please?
Yeah, so you said 100 meat, 100 vegetarian.
That's correct. I'd like to place the order for 100 meat and 100 vegetarian pies. When can we expect delivery?
Oh, where are you located?
We'll need delivery to the brewery at 52 Chiswell Street.
Oh, for sure. We're actually right next door.
Fantastic. Thank you. We look forward to the fun. Goodbye.
Okay, it'll be there in like 43 seconds. Goodbye.
Isn't that cool? It's obviously just a simple example of showing the power of the real-time API combined with tools, APIs of your own, of third-party APIs.
La demostración de esta función de comandos de voz para asistencia en planificación de viajes es técnicamente impresionante y muestra un alto nivel de integración entre el modelo 01 y APIs en tiempo real. Esta capacidad permite al usuario interactuar de manera intuitiva y eficiente, realizando tareas complejas como encontrar alojamiento, localizar tiendas y hasta hacer pedidos a través de la plataforma Wanderlust. El uso de comandos de voz facilita la interacción natural del usuario con el sistema, mientras que la API en tiempo real se encarga de conectarse a diversas herramientas externas para ofrecer una experiencia de usuario fluida y productiva. Además, el sistema incluye una funcionalidad adicional de llamadas telefónicas automatizadas, que amplía significativamente el alcance de las tareas que el usuario puede realizar en una única interacción sin cambiar de plataforma. Este desarrollo indica un avance relevante en el uso de IA para la automatización de tareas y asistencia personalizada en tiempo real, optimizando la experiencia del usuario en aplicaciones de viajes y servicios. A continuación, verán el poder de la API en tiempo real, que es esencialmente un modo de voz avanzado, permitiendo una interacción dinámica entre una persona y cualquier tema que quiera aprender. En este caso, se trata de los planetas y algo de información sobre ellos. Veámoslo y lo analizamos.
Hey, so can you tell me, what is the biggest planet in the solar system?
Absolutely. The biggest planet in our solar system is Jupiter. It's so massive, it has more than twice the mass of all the other planets combined. Jupiter is the giant among giants.
Okay, great. So real-time interaction works, and I think it's going to be a more fun way of learning. But let's see if we can make it a bit more interactive. Hey, I'm curious about Earth.
Sure thing. Earth is the third planet from the Sun and the only one known to support life. It's packed with diverse ecosystems, abundant water, and a protective atmosphere that shields us from harmful solar radiation. Do you want to know more about Earth's characteristics?
Well, I see that there's actually a lot of water there. So can you tell me, how much land is there versus water?
Absolutely. Approximately 71% of Earth's surface is covered by water, while the remaining 29% is land. Our blue marble truly lives up to its name. Let me show you this on the pie chart. Here's the breakdown of Earth's surface.
Okay, great, thank you. I actually have a question about Mars now.
Mars, the red planet. What would you like to know?
So I heard there was a lot of volcanoes there. Can you tell me, which one is the biggest?
Absolutely, the biggest volcano on Mars, and in the entire solar system, is Olympus Mons. It's about 13.6 miles, nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest. Would you like more information on Olympus Mons?
Yeah, can you tell me, what are the 3 biggest volcanoes and show me their heights?
Certainly. The 3 biggest volcanoes on Mars are 1. Olympus Mons, 13.6 miles, 22 kilometers high. 2. Asclepius Mons, about 11.3 miles, 18.1 kilometers high. 3. Arcia Mons, around 11.2 miles, 18 kilometers high.
Okay, great, thank you. Just learned something. Great. So let's talk about what happened here.
Esta demostración de la API en tiempo real de OpenAI, aplicada al aprendizaje interactivo sobre los planetas, ilustra un avance significativo en la personalización de la educación mediante IA. La API ofrece una interacción dinámica, respondiendo con información detallada y adaptada sobre temas específicos, como la composición de la Tierra o los volcanes en Marte, que no solo es informativa sino también visual al generar gráficos y otros elementos de apoyo visual. Esta tecnología no solo transforma la experiencia de aprendizaje al hacerlo más accesible y entretenido, sino que también permite explorar temas en profundidad, respondiendo a preguntas específicas del usuario en tiempo real y facilitando el aprendizaje autodirigido. Además, este modo avanzado de voz permite una experiencia inmersiva en la que el usuario puede interactuar con el contenido de manera fluida, aprovechando el poder de la IA para obtener respuestas inmediatas y contextualizadas. Esto es algo increíble. Ten en cuenta que todo eso se genera dinámicamente y no está predefinido en ningún lugar, lo cual realmente muestra la visión de lo que puede ser el futuro de la educación. Y como no podía faltar en el evento, Sam Altman habla sobre los agentes de IA, una IA que no solo podría reservar un restaurante, sino llamar a 300 restaurantes en busca del que mejor se adapte a sus necesidades y, lo que es más importante, actuar como un compañero de trabajo de alto nivel, colaborando en tareas durante días o semanas a la vez.
Maybe I can give the following example. When people talk about an AI agent acting on their behalf, the main example they seem to give, fairly consistent, is, oh, you can ask the agent to go book you a restaurant reservation, and either it can use OpenAI or it can call the restaurant. Okay, sure, that's a mildly annoying thing to have to do, and maybe saves you some work. One of the things that I think is interesting is a world where you can just do things that you wouldn't or couldn't do as a human. So what if instead of calling one restaurant to make a reservation, my agent would call me 300 and figure out which one had the best food for me or some special thing available or whatever. And then you would say, well, that's really annoying if your agent is calling 300 restaurants. But if it's an agent answering each of those 300 places, then no problem. And it can be this massively parallel thing that a human can't do. So that's a trivial example, but there are these limitations to human bandwidth that maybe these agents won't have. The category I think that was more interesting is not the one that people normally talk about, where you have this thing calling restaurants for you. But something that's more like a really smart senior coworker, where you can collaborate on a project with, and the agent can go do a 2-day task or 2-week task really well, and paying you when it has questions, but come back to you with a great work product.
Aquí podemos ver que ofrece una reflexión interesante sobre el futuro de los agentes de inteligencia artificial y su potencial para transformar tareas que requieren una duración prolongada, destacando cómo podrían operar con mínima supervisión. Se menciona el desafío de imaginar cómo estos agentes pueden superar las limitaciones humanas, no solo realizando tareas rutinarias como hacer reservas, sino también llevando a cabo investigaciones exhaustivas que serían inviables para un humano debido a la carga de trabajo. Esta visión de agentes de IA se asemeja más a tener un colega senior que pueda colaborar en proyectos complejos y entregar resultados significativos. Sin embargo, se plantea un punto crucial sobre la monetización y la valorización de estos agentes. A medida que los modelos de IA evolucionan, será fundamental considerar cómo se estructuran los precios basados en el uso de recursos computacionales en lugar de simplemente basarse en el servicio proporcionado. En resumen, la clave para maximizar el potencial de estos agentes radica en su capacidad para liberar talento humano al asumir tareas que requieren un análisis y procesamiento más allá de las capacidades individuales, lo que podría llevar a una revalorización de cómo percibimos el trabajo y su compensación en un futuro próximo. ¿Cómo creen que el uso de la inteligencia artificial en aplicaciones como el control de drones, la planificación de viajes y el aprendizaje interactivo sobre temas complejos, como los planetas, puede transformar nuestras experiencias diarias y la forma en que interactuamos con la tecnología? Mejor mira este vídeo del ex empleado de OpenAI donde expone la realidad de la IA y la AGI. Si has llegado hasta aquí en el vídeo, quiero darte las gracias. Déjame saber lo que piensas en los comentarios, dale like, suscríbete y no olvides activar la campanita para no perderte ninguno de nuestros vídeos, no te cuesta nada y nos ayudas un montón. Esto es IA Avanzada y nos vemos en el siguiente.